Hello, fellow bastards and Fargan Iceholes. My name is Alex Tyler. Welcome to Ace Combat Reviews. Today we're going to be reviewing three planes as requested. The ADFX-01, the ADF-11F, and the ADF-01. These three planes are legendary, except for the middle one, which is recently added to the game. The other two are legendary for being in the game. The ADF-01 was an unlockable plane in, I believe, a lot of the Ace Combat games. I forget how to get the other ones though. The all of these though were added as DLC to the game by Namco Bandai, and it was always happy to play with them. Me personally, I've never been a fan of them that much. I've been more inclined to the X-02 or my big old baby, the SU-47. But when I first looked at these planes and I actually gave them a fair shake, you would not believe how much I actually looked at these and said, yes, these are great, but have set rules. Each has its own personality, like when I did the SU-57, the F-22, and the YF-23. All those planes have definite personalities. So let's begin with the ADFX-01. This plane, as you're seeing right now, especially in campaign, is just made to take out enemies. It's made just to go at groups and just destroy them completely. Especially with the missiles, with the weapons it has on board. It is meant to go into a crowd of enemies and break them up. It is a great support plane in that sense. You need to have team members on your plane, you need to have team members with you to help make this great. If you're just alone by yourself, it's mediocre, let's just say the least. It's really good because look at the weapon here. The MB, the multi-purpose burst missile is great for breaking up crowds, especially in multiplayer. It also has a jamming device, which is great for helping your team lock on and helping your enemies not lock onto you, but also making your standard missiles even better, which is even great, which is really good. Like this missile launcher right here. I'm going to be launching my multi-burst missile at this group little group right here, and just break them up and destroying a big group of them. I destroyed one, but the rest of them got hit, so I just need to clean them up now. So it's really good for doing sustained, I guess, sustained damage or having just presence around the battlefield, which is really enjoyable to have. In multiplayer, it's a different story altogether, where you literally have this idea of, I want to win the game, but you have these weapons that are not built for battle, they are built for helping the team. So in Battle Royale, this is not meant to be played in. You are not meant to be in the game with Battle Royale at all. I realized that with the ADFX-01. It is an amazing plane for team battles. So once you see this in a clip, as with the IWIS, I guess I can call it, is just really good for laying down pressure on the enemies that are around you. And I'm sorry for this clip that we were getting taken out. The whole team was literally by one guy that was just destroying everybody with a railgun. So anyway, if I had to explain how good this plane is in multiplayer, it is also dependent on skill, totally. Me, myself, I'm not that good. I tell myself that every time I play this game. I'm not at the top tier where people can just launch and stay in your butt with a railgun and just kill you. Or just have all these like maneuvers and these cobras and just perform all these crazy stunts that you have no idea how to do. Like, hear me dogfighting the SU-57. I know he's a threat. Like, in my last video, you saw, this thing is meant to dogfight. This thing is meant just to go toe-to-toe with other planes and win. Especially top-tier S-class planes like this. This is a perfect counter for me. And I know it. And that's why I'm using the IWIS when I can. It is a great weapon for applying pressure against an enemy that you have no idea how you're going to win or beat. And because of that, it is perfect for group situations in this, where you're just surrounded and just destroying targets or just applying pressure. This is the thing, like I keep saying, this plane is great for applying pressure. If you do it that way, you're great. Do not think of it as a pick up and play plane. It is not meant to do it that way. It is not meant to be this disgusting, overpowered weapon that is just going to destroy everybody. Like this guy behind me, the X-02. I know he has a railgun. I know he's going to try to take care of me like that. And because of this, it is unaffected by weapons like this. So you need to understand, use it cautiously, use it sparingly, but also make sure you're using it in the correct manner. That is all I gotta say to the ADFX-01. So enjoy the rest of the grip until I move on to the next plane.
Target is in gun range. Miss. That's a miss. Enemy locked on. Delta 1. Delta 1, down. 2 minutes remaining. Delta 1, locked on. Don't ice up in there. In gun range. Missile in the air. 1 minute remaining. Delta 1, entering clouds. You're being left behind. Put your back into it. Delta 1, down. Delta 1, missile fired.
After playing with it for a little bit, the ADF-11F is probably one of my favorite games. It's probably one of my favorite planes in the game right now. For the ability to control an entire battlefield and wipe it out within seconds. For two reasons. One, it gets QAMs, it gets the pulse, it gets the laser. It comes with a pulse laser standard for its machine gun. And the UAVs are a dominant weapon for applying pressure on multiple enemies at once to keep them off back while you're hunting down your main target, or applying pressure on your single target and launching them, not burst fire, but not spamming them. You cannot spam the UAV. You can, but it won't work out that well for you. They work like QAMs, but that fire back. They circle around the enemies as you see here. Launching them, they do strafing runs, and they act like wingmen for you. Because of this, you need to treat them as such as QAMs that have a longer shelf life when fired. So because of this, you need to accept their power, which is using them as an assassin tool that is meant to poison you, not stabbing you in the back, not instantly kill you, but to make you have a fear of what's going around you. Launch one over there on an enemy that's tailing you. Launch one on another guy somewhere else in the battlefield that's targeting you. Then use your regular missiles to go after the main target you want to go after. Because of this, it is an amazing weapon to control an entire conversation of the battlefield, which is, I want to win. I want to use this to make this go in my favor. I want to use the ADF-11F to become the master of the battle. Because of this, it is an amazing tool to do just that. Because the UAV is great for taking out ground targets, like you're about to see here with the ships I'm going to take on, they are great for just sprinkling damage in certain places. It adds up over time. That's the thing with this. It's like I guess you could say a souffle. It is a very, if you add too much, it will fail. If you add too little, it's too bland. It's just in the right point where you need to learn how to use it correctly. Like you see me launching these at different targets. You see me launching the UAVs as how they're supposed to be played with. I launch one, and it sprinkles the main damage with the it sprinkles damage in the citadel. But then I know that I can come back around and destroy that battle cruiser, and also just use the main defensive, well, the offensive capabilities of this plane. The pulse laser here is a good example of how to use this properly too. I don't know if it does more damage than a regular gun because it's just struck on there. Because if you know anything about the Su-57, how the pulse laser works, it's basically a machine gun pod with that has different effects. But I don't know about the power of it technically though. But at the sense of the thing, it does fire slower than a regular gun, which means that you need to time your shots and make sure you're lined up with it. Um, I will be using the laser beam on the ADF-01, which is a good example of how to use that plane in a good experience, and I'm going to show that in a little bit. But to describe this plane in the best way possible is to look at this and say, yes, this thing is amazing. This thing is great for doing what it does. At the same time, in multiplayer, this is where it gets interesting. The applying pressure point for the UAVs goes completely out the window when you're fighting an experienced pilot. This is just basically jingle keys, if you know what that means. Jingle keys, for those who don't know, means I'm going to hold up some keys and jingle in front of your face while I'm stealing your wallet. Look up here while I'm hurting you down there. An experienced person will not get distracted by that. They will just say, why are you trying to take my wallet? An inexperienced person will say, "Oh my God, there's one UAV coming after me. There's this guy on my butt. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I can't. If I move, I'm gonna get shot. If I move over here, I'm gonna get shot down with the missiles." And that's where this problem comes in with the ADF-11F. That it is just an amazing plane for controlling situations and dogfighting too. Don't get me wrong there. It's amazing for dogfighting. But because it is in a situation of controlling instead of defeating, it is in a very unique place to say, yes, this is good, yet this is also in a, a place set of its own. It's a monster. Yes. It is a beast. Yes. It is an amazing plane and worth buying for the DLC. Yes, I don't usually say that. But here, you can definitely see that it is so worth just the ability just to do giant runs of damage. I've noticed that against experienced pilots, that it cannot hold its own against someone who is using a good plane and a good hand. Which is not mine, totally. Because of this, you realize that this vehicle is meant just to destroy but also handle enemies. By that, I mean this. You look at this plane the first time and you think, wow, that looks pretty cool. This is the thing I fought in the campaign, right? This is the boss plane, right? And then you actually play with it, and then you realize the power you have in your hands. That it's just meant to destroy, but at the same time, control. I know I keep repeating myself for this. All I can say is that watch me play with it. Hope you enjoy what I'm trying to say. At the end of the day, it is meant to be a spider web. It is meant to have one arm reached out over here to control that side of the battle, while another arm reached out over there to defend yourself, or to say, I can take care of that enemy over there too. Think of it like that. This is a spider web when you're playing with it. You must have complete control of your surroundings when playing with it. Because of that, it is just a really, really good plane, and I love it. Anyway, enjoy the rest of this clip. I'll move on to the next plane.
UAV deployed. Locked on. Missile fired. Missile evaded. Missile closing, evade. Missile hit. Enemy locked on. Lima 1, down. UAV deployed. Locked on. Enemy locked on. Lima 1. Missile incoming. Bandit on you. 30 seconds remaining. Lima 1, locked on. Missile hit. Fifteen seconds. Enemy locked on. Lima 1. Combat time's up. You've still got a lot to learn. Your call sign is Bravo 1.
Now, the ADF-01, I look at this plane for the first time, and I remember Ace Combat 4, Ace Combat 5, unlocking it, and it was fun.
Locked on.
But there's always this sneaking feeling in the back of my mind, why should I use this plane? And I have to be honest, I honestly don't like it that much. I look at it and I think, what's so special about it? And what comes from that is, compared to the other ADF planes, its sisters, I think it does not hold up that well. Mainly for one reason and one reason alone. This is a great vehicle to have multiple multiple targets on your screen. It tries to do the same thing as ADF-11, but fails. It tries to do the same thing as ADFX, but fails. It cannot support that well. It cannot control entire battlefields that well. But it can shoot down planes well. With the weapon system it has, at 4 AMs, anytime, any day, on any plane are always going to be good. Plus, it has 4 flares instead of 3 like the other two, which is really nice. And because of this, this vehicle is reliable in certain situations. Right now, in this Battle Royale setting, it's not that good, technically. Mainly because of how, I guess you could say, I'm trying to find the right words, overwhelmed it is in that setting, because everyone sees the big plane that I'm flying and says shoot it down because I'm being a nuisance.
3 minutes remaining.
But at the same time, you realize that this vehicle has the potential in the right hands just to destroy everybody. And I've seen it before. I've seen people use this plane to great effect. And you cannot treat it like any other plane. You cannot treat it like this lower version of the other two. Because, let's just be honest, the ADF-11 is probably the best plane out of all of them. Because of the weapon systems it has QAMs, and it's just disgusting for what it can do.
Bravo 1
Because of this
looks 3.
reason, compared to the other two, I look at this as the one thing you can skip. That you don't play as much, that you can just say, alright. It was alright to begin. And because of that reason, I look at
Careful,
this
enemy
and I
left guard.
say, it's alright. And when I think about how
2
it
minutes
stacks up
remaining.
against all other planes that are good, like let's say
Cruiser
against the
missile
X-02
activated.
Wyvern, this is its kind of rival, I guess you could
Missile
say.
in the air.
These two planes have always been compared to each other because they've always been the same game. Um, Ace Combat 4, Ace Combat 5, you can get those two together, and they're
Box
both
2, box
unlockable
2.
and stuff and things. Because of that
Locked on.
reason, you look at the two, you
In
look at
gun
the two
range.
together, and you think, which one should I use? And honestly, I really
Bravo
don't
1
know.
out.
Between the X-02 and the ADF-01, I really don't know. I look at these two planes, and they're almost equal. Where they differentiate is with the pilot and also the weapon systems. This
Bravo 1
has
locked
4
on.
AMs, it has a laser cannon, and it has some other stuff that
Bravo
nobody
1
ever really
box 2.
uses.
1 minute remaining.
And the X-02 has land ship
Missile
missiles, it
closing in.
has railgun, and it has the multi-lock missiles, I believe. The X6 AAMs, I believe.
Locked on.
Um, if this had something
Tracking
better
approved.
than just the laser cannon, I understand why it has a laser cannon. It's a feature
Target's
of the
in gun
plane,
range.
but I'd rather have QAMs on this or some other kind of HPAA or something
30
like this on
seconds
this
remaining.
plane. It really needs something to give it that extra oomph
Ranking
above other
improved.
planes,
Keep it
and
up.
it doesn't have it that much. Besides the other
Enemy
two,
locked on.
the
Bravo
X,
1.
the ADFX is a total support plane. It is meant to help the
15
battlefield and
seconds.
help your team win. The ADF-11 is an assassin and a spiderweb, and meant to control the battlefield. This thing just kind of sits there.
Bravo
You
1
can shoot
locked on.
people or get shot at, as you can see here in this clip. But I'm
Combat
gonna let you
time's
guys
up.
enjoy the rest of
Still got a lot to learn.
rest of the battle, and just hope you guys enjoy the rest of the clips. Anyway, my name is Alex Tyler. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of the video. Bye. Yeah, let's do this.
This is AWACS Windmaker. We have you on radar. Enemy detected. Clear to engage. Take down as many as you can. Your call sign is Romeo 1. Locked on. Missile hit. Missile in the air.
Good job. I see you,
In gun
Grizzly.
range. Romeo
Oh,
1
God.
hit. Romeo 1 down.
Jesus. Black Scorpion's the biggest threat, that's for sure. I am not good with the laser system, that's for sure. It's better for close range, honestly. It really is. Thank you.
Romeo
Who the
1
heck is
out.
shooting me so fast? Who the heck killed me in like 2 shots? Alright. Please don't. Please don't. I'm just trying to record a video.
Target is in gun range. Careful, enemy locked onto you. 3 minutes remaining.
What the hell is shooting me
Romeo
so
1
fast?
out.
No, no, literally. I gotta see a replay of that. Like, seriously. Either I'm getting shot down way too fast, or I don't know, man. Like, wow.
Romeo 1, locked on.
Oh
Romeo
God.
1,
Okay.
hit. In gun range.
Are you guys going after
Romeo
me?
1,
I
out.
don't know. Like seriously, are they all going after me?
Two minutes remaining. Missile closing, evade. Careful, enemy locked on.
There you are.
Romeo 1, out.
Good God. I just need practice with the damn thing. That's the problem. Like, I'm horrible with it. Regular, like, you know, the advanced controls. I am doing that.
Careful, enemy locked onto you. Missile evaded. Missile incoming. Locked on. Combat time's up. Don't give
Good
a
God.
performance like that again.
I did horrible that round. Good God. It also didn't help that it also didn't help that everyone was coming after me. Jesus.